So the first question from the audience that we will address is, what actions would you take to improve or change the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, colloquially known as Obamacare?
It's important to understand, again, I keep going back to this recurring theme, but you remember when Obama came into office, there was a variety of different plans that were proposed to the public. The one of them that is the most efficient is Medicare for all, or Medicaid for all. We know that we rank 37th in the world in our healthcare outcomes, and yet we were spending twice as much as any of our competitive countries. And why? Because essentially there was a very small pool of very profitable insurance companies that were taking advantage of that. I highly disagree with Mr. Ashajian and Mr. Kokinen on this issue. It's very, very clear. When you look at the cost of administering the Medicaid program, it's about 4% compared to for-profit companies, which is, I can't remember if it's 17% or 27%, but it's much, much higher. We're the only developed country in the world that doesn't have a national health care program of this sort. And when you look at our health outcomes, you say, why are we spending so much money and still not getting the kind of outcomes that we have? Cuba is ahead of us on this issue. What this comes down to is two things. What is our compassion for our social contract for one another? 17 million people got health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. I think that's great. There's still 26 or 27 million to go. I also think it's revealing that when you went on the Jay Leno show a number of years ago, he did a walkabout, if you remember that. And he asked people, what do you feel about Obamacare? And they went, ooh, boo, no. Then they said, what do you think about the Affordable Care Act? They went, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They like that. The fact of the matter is we have the ability to do this, and it should be a right, not a privilege. I echo my sentiments of my colleagues.